Let's see here. How do I invite people? Right. Oh, there's already a chat here. Yeah, it's the first time that we've had a live going on through here. Sorry, guys. Just do it. Yep. I think so. I'm trying a new streaming platform. It's from Riverside, so I guess I don't really need that. This can be right here. There we go. All right. Everything's a learning curve. That is the truth. That is the truth. Business is a never-ending learning curve. So that's how it goes. Let's see. I'm just trying to get this out to everyone. So bear with me for a moment, guys. It's connected to YouTube and connected to Riverside, so people should be able to see this. Let's see here. Messages. Yeah, just trying to figure it out. Got the link. If you guys got friends you want to jump in the live, ask questions, send it on over to them. Got 6 viewers so far, so that's pretty cool. Oh, we appreciate that. One of these Total Junk Solutions has been following me and Jackie for 7 months, and they've learned a lot. That's good. We appreciate that. The goal is to put out as much information as we can, guys. It just sometimes it's difficult, especially this new chapter of business. It's been hard to get content out. I think that's more of a job than anything else. All right. Alrighty. Yeah, the invite just went out. So more and more people should be jumping on, and if they don't, it is what it is. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and throw this on Instagram. Take a picture that way. Oh. All right. So, how's everything going with the new employee? It's going really well, actually. He's AK's a killer. He's way better at junk removal than we are. And I know it seems like junk removal is like this like super easy thing, but I guess just he's done it for 3 years, so there's a negligible difference on like things like packing the truck that you think you're good at until you get you start working with someone who's been doing it for a long time. So I thought that was cool. It's very humbling. You know what I mean? The after hour show starter. What's going on, everybody? Oh, now I have to copy this freaking link. Technology's something else, ain't it? Let's see here. Oh, and we've got more people from. How do I copy this link? There we go. Let's see if that went to my phone. Moreno Valley, California. What's going on? All right, sorry guys. I'm just trying to get everybody in here. So. There we go. Now it's on Instagram, so more people should be jumping in. Seattle, Washington, and we got the whole crew coming on in here. Guys, ask some questions if you have any. That way we can get into the business stuff and start helping each other out. Four new messages. Oh, that was quick. Yeah, I've heard it is hard to get some commercial insurance. What are you looking at? Are you talking about for Brian Anderson? Are you looking for commercial auto, or what's the case? You might have to get with some of the other companies that are there. We use Progressive. Top Notch Hauling. How's everyone's business doing out here in California? Seems like many clients want us to do jobs at the 150 range. Guys, everybody is always going to have that issue where clients want you to do it for 150 bucks. Like that's typical. It comes down to the quality of your leads, how long you've been in business, that kind of stuff. You have to have an authority. So until you've built up that authority, which just really takes time and jobs under your belt, you're going to get the people that are not serious about getting junk done. So John asks, are we using GoPros or some other type of camera for our social media? No, we use our phone right now. I'm streaming from an Insta360. We do use that from time to time. We also use the Meta glasses from time to time, but most of the time, like the content you guys see, even the long form YouTube is iPhone. And this is the, what iPhones do we have, baby? 14? Pro? Mine's not even the Pro. Mine's just the 14 Plus, so. All right. Okay, Progressive won't touch us. Yeah, I've been seeing there has to be someone out there, right? Because otherwise you guys wouldn't be able to operate. It's just going to be a pain in the butt, you know. All right. 8 NGO Chew says, I charge $1,800 for a job, but they want me to do it for $1,000. What should I do? So Jackie and I have been learning this a little bit from AK, and because he worked at Junk Luggers for 3 years. And one of the things is that, you guys, you can't be married to your price. Now, that is a big difference, right? Like $1,800 to $1,000 is pretty substantial. And you have to ask yourself, like, what's your profit margin going to be at the $1,800 at the $1,000, right? Are you being too greedy on your profit margin side for the $1,800, and can you bring your price down? And do you want to do that, right? But you should never be married to the price. Depending on where you're at, guys, I would never do a job under $1,000. If they're trying to get you from the $1,000 mark or under, just be weary, because in a lot of states, you can't get a mechanical lien on a property if it's under $1,000. And Chicken 0825 made a good recommendation. You can call it 14 instead of 1,800. Yeah, you're anchoring at 1,800 bucks. That's what you really want to make. And then you just say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, you know, I understand that you really would like it to be closer to 1,000. I can't necessarily make it down to 1,000 for you, but I could do $14.50 for a first time discount, something along those lines. Knock $100 off the load or walk, you can do that too. What I've found now that we have an employee, I'm more willing to work on the price just because I need to keep my guy busy. So you can get away with not doing that when you're an owner operator, but when you do have employees, you have to keep the schedule filled. John W. East, or Weast, just you mentioned in getting your started about Google requiring you to have a camera mounted to a truck for the day. I don't know if I said that, but you have to take a video to get verified is what I probably meant by that, and you have to have some sort of like decal or wrap on your vehicle. You have to be able to show yourself unlocking it. You have to do it from a street view where they can see the street signs, and you have to have some sort of clothing and branding to include in that thing. So, all right. Yes, we do both need new phones, but I won't buy a new phone until mine takes a crap on me. Getting back up, how much do we spend on Facebook ads per month? We just started back on Facebook ads. Right now we're spending like, I think it's $10 a day, so it's $300 per ad, $600 on Meta. Nothing crazy. We spend a lot more on Google LSA. We spend $600 a week, so 6, 12, 18, 24 a month, $2,400 a month, and then our Google ads, once those get going again, are going to be around $2,000. We were spending about $3,500, and we switched to a new company. So, all right. Trying to learn how to set up Facebook ads, guys. Facebook ads are not incredibly complicated, so make sure that you get a Meta Business Suite set up, connected to the Facebook account, and you have to determine what kind of ad you want to run. Okay, and that's going to dictate the creative. Okay, so do you want a message ad? Do you want them to fill out a lead form? Do you want them to just come in as a follow? And that'll dictate what you're going to do. You can do a static ad, which is going to be like a photo ad, or you can do a non-static ad, which is going to be a video ad. What's really specific and important is that you have to make sure that you set the creative up well. So the copy, right? Just what you're saying and what your call to action is in the video or the static image. And then make sure that your targeting is set up correctly. So if you don't do anything right, the targeting is the thing that you have to do right, which is just where are you targeting the ad to go? You don't want it to be the United States because then it shows it to everybody. You want it to be local to your city and your state. Then you can get into the demographics, how old they are, what their interests are, but keep it pretty broad. And then as the ad runs, you have to narrow things down. Google LSA is kind of like Thumbtack, but on Google's platform. So you have to have a Google My Business and you have to have insurance. Once you get set up on that, if you search a service in Google, the very first thing that you'll see is a Google LSA ad. They're not always running. A good example is like if you look up plumbing near me, plumbers are 24/7 service, so they'll pop up and you'll see. Just look up Google LSA. It's just another form of Google ads. It doesn't really take anything to set up, but they are pretty expensive. They're anywhere between $50 to $100 a lead. What if you're working out of your home, but you're using a virtual address? Does that work with Google? No, don't put your virtual address in there. You're going to put your home address, but you're going to do as a service area business. So you're not going to have a storefront, if that makes sense. Look it up on Google. I'm not the best at explaining it, but it's pretty straightforward if you find a video or two. All right. Eco Dump Dynamics said, hey, Tanner and Jackie, Josh and Barbara here with Eco Dump Dynamics. Just wanted to say hi and thank you for taking the time to teach everybody to break away from their 9 to 5. So they started their business a few weeks ago and have already made $1,000. Wow. That's incredible, guys. That's awesome. $1,000 in their first week. I think that's better than us. Yeah. It's pretty good. Jackie's in the kitchen cooking, guys, so she's listening to you guys and me, blabber. All right. Would you be willing to share more about your expenses breakdown? We're trying to learn more about the percentages of different expense categories and the overall breakdown. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have like specific questions about it? I guess I can go on to my QuickBooks account. Let's see. And kind of walk through some of my expenses for the last month, and we'll kind of talk about them. Just give me 1 second here. How many leads do you get from Google LSA for the $600 per week? I can also look that up. Just give me 1 second. So Google LSA for $600 a week. I think it's like 6. Let's see. 1 second. So we got 5 in the last 7 days is what it says. But if I go to the budget, it says 11 leads per week. I don't know, how many phone calls do you think we get from Google LSA? It's not 5.
I would say like 3 a day.
3 a day. So about 20 calls a week.
Yeah. Just depends how long that we don't keep it on every day though.
Yeah, we don't keep our LSA on every day, so that also changes things. But it says it's 5, but if I look, let's see for leads. Yeah, we have way more than 5.
It's like 3 a day.
Yeah, like 3 a day. So there you go. Picture-in-picture mode closed to maintain recording quality. Okay. All right. And we're going to get back to the question about expense breakdowns. I'm just pulling my last month's P&L up. Our QuickBooks says we have $176,840 of tax deductions tracked so far. That's crazy. Let's see here. Last month. Okay, so I'm going to just go line by line on my P&L. I'm not going to show you guys because that's our private stuff, but I will go through a couple of things with you guys. So last month we did $20,000 in revenue, and we had about the same in expenses. So yeah, some months can be pretty tough. So last month wasn't a great month, but we had a lot of unexpected charges. We had an accident that we had to pay out of pocket for. So I'm going to start with the major expenses so you guys kind of have an idea. So vehicle gas and fuel, we had $1,231 for gas and fuel. Let's see. Advertising and marketing, we spent $5,129. Let's see. $1,000 for mentorship, education. Our subscriptions was $467, $90 in uniforms for AK. So some of those are like one-time expenses. Let's see, office supplies and software is another $400. Equipment rental, we had $824 in equipment rental. Whatever, what did we rent this last month? Do you remember?
How much was it?
$824. I don't know what we had last month, to be honest with you guys. Let's see. Disposal and waste fees was $1,286. And that's the fees. That's pretty much it. So there's some other ones, some miscellaneous stuff. Airfare for coming up business trip was $809. And so yeah. And then the hold on. Where is our contract? Our labor for last month was $6,200. That's the big one. So between that and advertising, you're looking at $11,000 right there. So hope that helps you guys with the expenses. Our expenses have grown as we've grown. So you guys will figure that out over time. We've tried to negate it as much as possible. We don't spend our money on things that we shouldn't spend our money on for the most part, I feel like. So yeah, we had like $3,000 for an accident that happened last month. So yeah. All right. Out of the 3 calls per day, how many do we close on average? What would you say? 1, 2,
No, like 2.5.
2.5? She says.
If we
Yeah.
average all of them.
If Jackie does all the calls, we close 2 out of 3. If I do all the calls, we do 1 out of 3. So
When I say 3 calls, I also mean like 3 qualified calls. 'Cause I
3
feel
qual-
like we get 5, and 2 of them are like,
tire kickers.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Jackie, if you guys couldn't hear her, I don't know if you could or not. Jackie said we probably get 5 calls per day, but 2 of them are like trash leads, 3 would be qualified, and out of the qualified leads, she'll
Some
close.
days we close 3, others will close
Yes,
2.
some days we close 3, some days we close 2. If Jackie's doing the calls, we close more. If I do the calls, we close less. So that's just kind of how it goes. 20 plus people on the live. Great questions, guys. Yeah, I don't know. Keep hitting us with questions, I guess. I'm going to go live on Instagram because people are freaking lazy and they don't want to hit the Riverside app. So maybe I'll get more questions that way. I don't know.
Maybe it's because I'm not there.
It's definitely because you're not here. So,
I just keep it.
and Tony's trying to call me during the live. You're on a live, guy, so be mindful. I said you're on live, so be mindful of what you.
I am. I'm watching you. What are we talking about?
Well, we were talking about business expenses. Now you make my Instagram trip out.
Oh, so are you live on Instagram too?
Yeah, guys. Well, no, I'm not now because you interrupted the call.
Are you still live on YouTube?
Yeah. So, guys, this is my brand manager, Tony. He helps us with all the YouTube content and just like brand management stuff. And he decided he was. Aren't you supposed to be in? Oh no, it's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. I'm still working.
Yeah.
Why
So-
is that my picture? Oh, you suck, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, do me a favor. Why don't you talk about Jobber a little bit on here?
Okay. I'll talk a little bit about Jobber.
Just want to make sure you're gonna talk about Job.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jobber. Someone asked me a question about Jobber. Go in and ask me a question about Jobber on live, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right. You good though? You need anything or what?
No, that's it. I was just calling to bless you. I was just calling to,
You just wanted to get on the live. You wanted to get on the live.
Oh
So
my god.
cool. All right, man. I'll chat with you.
Peace out.
All right. Oh, sorry about that. Freaking Instagram. Go back to. People joined fast on the Instagram live. They were hot and ready. Ooh. Okay. Sorry about that. Tony decided to interrupt as soon as I went live on Instagram. So, all right. How long did it take for you two to go all in on your junk removal business, make the big investments for your dump trailer and truck? What most helped you get jobs consistently? So it's not it is a loaded question, but it's a good question. I'm going to repeat it one more time because people are jumping in. Man, I've got freaking 20 people on Instagram and 20 people on the other live. There's 2 lives, guys. I tried to get you guys to join the one on Riverside, but I guess it's easier here. So the question is, how long did it take for us to go all in on our business, make the big investments for the dump trailer, the truck, and what most helped get consistent jobs? So I'm going to answer this backwards. So consistent jobs, someone asked us, we did it, this was in our YouTube video that we filmed yesterday.
Yeah.
Took us about 7 months to get consistent jobs. But when we say consistent, we never worked consistent with work. But when I think of consistency, I think of your ability to get work whenever you need to get it, not just kind of waiting on it. And you're always going to kind of be waiting on it, but now our books are always scheduled somewhat in advance, I would say. Like we have jobs already on the schedule for this week. One thing that opened my eyes, again, AK, for you guys that don't know, AK worked at Junk Luggers for 3 years. They got a lot of same day bookings, and that was $1 million plus a year revenue business. So don't feel bad that if you're getting jobs same day, like it happens, right? You have to be able to answer your phone and get out the jobs when people need it done. But next question in that was, how long did it take us to go all in? We did like week 2. It took us like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna give you guys.
And I feel like it was less than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys the story. So the first couple jobs that we got, or first couple leads we got for the business, came in, and I was still working a 9 to 5. What was my shift? Like 8 to 3, 8 to 4.
Yeah.
So I was working 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, and it just seemed like every job wanted to get it done like right then and there. I was trying to book jobs for like after the fact.
And I wasn't gonna go do them by myself.
Yeah, Jackie
so
wasn't gonna go do them
I'd
by
be
herself.
freaking out, and I'd be like, "What do I tell them?"
Yeah. So basically, what that entailed was, I called out a couple times for us to do jobs, and they didn't like that. And so I went to go part time. They basically had it where you could come in like only 8 hours a month, and you would still be considered part time or whatever. And I'm getting a lot of questions. So from there, I decided I told them like, hey, I'm gonna put my 2 weeks in, but I might have times in the 2 weeks where I can't show up. And they basically said, if you don't show up during your 2 weeks scheduled, we either gonna add it to the end of your 2 weeks, or you can never work here again. And basically when they strong-armed me, I was like, okay, well, we're just going to get in and get after it. And we did. So about 2 weeks in, we both quit our jobs and decided to go all in on junk removal.
I think I quit my job the same day we got our first job.
Yeah, Jackie quit her job the first day she got our first job, but she wasn't bringing in a ton of money with that job. And
We were bringing in the same.
yeah, well, that wasn't a ton of money.
Yeah, I'm just saying it wasn't that
Yeah.
terrible. It was a normal job.
We weren't making a lot of money in general, okay? And then for the big investments like the dump trailer and truck, I'll just make this short and sweet so I can get to the Instagram questions. The F-250 we bought maybe 4 months in, and then with anticipations that we were going to need a 3/4 ton truck for the dump trailer, and we bought the dump truck trailer like 6 months in. So it wasn't very immediate. We waited until we had money. That's the truth. And that's what I would say you guys should do, is make sure that you have money for it first. All right, what's going on, everyone in the live? Bunch of people jumping in. Do we use a virtual address on Google or use a home address? You can't use a virtual address with Google. I promise you, it does not work well. And GMB, having it set up the right way is important. You need to set up your GMB as like a service area business, not a like storefront business. Okay, so North Bay Junk Removals, giving you guys a little bit of a gem. They said, I used to say my first available appointment would be 5:30. Is that something you would like to schedule? And it was a famous line in the beginning for them. So for us, we weren't making enough money to justify not doing junk removal full time, but that's how we saw it, right?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people that start already make like 60, 70 a year. That's not what
Yeah.
we were doing. So it was.
Yeah, we were making like $30,000 a year. So if you're like in that situation, I feel like you can't really get much worse,
You can always go find another $30,000.
You can always go find another $30,000 job. But if you're making like 60, 70, even 50, I think it would be wise to try to do it the slow way. I've got Jonathan Meyer in the Instagram. What up to Jonathan? He's got a great full-time job from my understanding. And he does this like on the weekends or whenever he has time available. And it seems like it's working out well for him. So take a page out of his book. Did we apply for any small business grants? Jackie and I have not applied for any grants, any type of funding outside of the dump truck. The dump truck was the first thing that we ever really got funded. And we don't plan on it, guys. There's not a need. Trying to grow by using, like, if you don't know how to grow by utilizing debt, then it's not a wise decision. It's
By not using it.
by No, by using debt. If you're trying to use debt to grow your business, it's not a wise decision,
Yeah.
especially when you don't know how to run the business first and foremost. If you know how to do that kind of stuff, then ignore that. But Total Junk Solutions says they have a demo with Jobber Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. If you guys don't have a CRM yet, you need to get one. And let me tell you why. We talked about this in our YouTube video that you got will be coming out sometime this week, right? But we probably lost an extra $100,000 of work just by not saving our customers' information and not having a way to retarget and remarket to them. I guess some people will save phone numbers into their phones. I'm not going to do that. I can't it's too messy. Okay. So do yourself a favor, get the low plan on Jobber, save yourself some time, some energy, and get yourself some money. Not sure if you answered this, but how many leads do you get a week from Google LSA from the $600 per week? I did. It varies, but we get probably like 10 to 15 qualified leads, and we probably close about between 30 and 40% of those. So, okay. So Sam says, definitely want to know how to grow more on the side of the slow way. I have an 80-ish thousand a year job. Congrats to you, Sam, for having a great job, but also wanting to take that step. I would recommend just, you have to look inside the hours that you have, right? I would put my focus, if I had money to spare and I was going to do this the slow way, I would focus on building the brand, building out a website, and getting good SEO. I wouldn't do any money in ads right off the bat. I would just do those three things, focus on word of mouth and referrals. And finding a good SEO company is going to help you get listed, and you have to work within your time constraints, and that's it. That's what I would do. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on equipment. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on like dump trailers and trucks, yada yada. I would just focus on getting jobs under my belt, learning how to do the junk removal, do the sales, do the phone calls, that kind of stuff. I'm a cop, dude. I work nights, so just trying to figure it out. No, I hear you, man. Yeah, that's probably pretty tough. And I would lean into that. You being a police officer, we have a junk removal company here from firefighters. They just gave us a referral. Shout out to Firefighter Junk Removal in Kyle, Texas. They, I think they do it on their days off, And I would say, Sam, I don't know what your schedule is like. If you're working like, I don't know, is it 312s, 412s, or whatever it is. But I would lean into 4 on, 4 off. Okay, cool. So that's a really good way. Like you could start booking your appointments for the 4 days that you have off and working on the business during that time. I would lean into being a cop. And it's kind of corny, but people want to support you for being a police officer. So kind of try to lean into that. And just don't spend a bunch of unnecessary money. Get a Google My Business account, get an SEO company to build a website, manage your SEO, and do those things. Will you put the fan on when you're done? Getting hot here. Yes, sir. Thank you for your service, too. I know that being a cop's probably a freaking hard job, so. All right. Someone asked way earlier, they're probably not on the call, but asked what my MOS was. I was a 68 whiskey. Still, I guess technically I'm a 68 whiskey since I'm in the reserves. But that's what I did. It's combat medic for anybody that doesn't know what that MOS identifier is. Appreciate everyone. Drop some questions if you have them. Love to answer anything that you want to pick our brains about. As you can tell, I'm a bit tired. Definitely want to talk more to you guys. I'm in the Houston area. Chat on the live, man. That's what it's here for. I got 2 phones. CRM, yes. Huh? CRM, someone asked, do we pay monthly for that? We do not, because we're brand partners with Jobber, but you will. And I promise you it's an expense worth having, okay? Just the tips alone you'll get from sending invoices with Jobber versus the tips that you don't get currently or the cash tips that you get sometimes will pay for Jobber. I promise you. Appreciate your service. Appreciate your support, guys. Thank you. All right. With renting a truck from U-Haul, how do you try to maintain profitability? That is a great question. Super difficult, which is why we didn't do U-Hauls for a long time. It's why we try to stay away from making content about doing things with U-Hauls because it's not a great way to do things. But here's how you do it. You have to book the work in advance. You have to make sure that there's a U-Haul around, and you have to try to find the closest one. And you have to get that U-Haul for one day and make sure that you can take it to the landfill and make sure that that landfill or transfer station is not going to charge you for the cubic yardage of what the box would be, but by weight. That's how you do it. All right. Sometimes I feel like y'all just jump in the live. What's up? Mike Gardner, what's up? What's up? Sometimes I think people just jump in the live. I don't know, on accident, but I also think people try to just see if we're like real people or what's going on. I don't know. So, yeah, it was a great question, Wayne. Yeah, guys, avoid the U-Haul phase if you can. Get a cheap truck. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So Brian Anderson asked, as a veteran, do you promote your service? Yeah, absolutely. We're promoted as veteran-owned and woman-owned. A lot of people online hate on us for being woman-owned, and we're actually planning on, I think, really leaning more into that. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little tip on marketing. Okay, women have a higher close rate than men, by far. Women to women sales is even higher statistically. Okay, so some people support veterans, some people don't. A lot of people do support us for being veteran-owned, but they support us just as much as being women-owned. Guys, any way that you can differentiate yourself, you should, and you should take pride in that. Like, veteran-owned, women-owned. I'm trying to think what else. You know, firefighter, police officer, medical, like anything.
Yeah,
Whatever
first
first responders, anything that makes you special, you should promote that. And people want to do business with people that they can trust. And, you know, we all know, like, we know as veterans that not all veterans are great. We know as firefighters and police officers and medical personnel, not just because you are that doesn't make that you are great, mean that you're a great person.
I think like your name is the Mexican ones. Like
Yeah.
They made a part of them be their name.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people would like or dislike that, but
Yeah.
again, the people that like that.
Yeah, Jackie's making a good point. Shout out to Two Mexicans Junk Removal. They were on here earlier, but she said, you know, when you think about it, especially in today's climate, right, in the U.S., like Two Mexicans Junk Removal, that could be like either really loved or like really well received or really not received well. And they're crushing it. So it's just a prime example of like promote yourself and make yourself stand out, be different. So awesome. Sam's also female and vet owned. That's pretty cool. Blessings from Cocoa, Florida. What up? That's close to where I grew up, so very cool. Leverage the best way you can. I'm black. I get a lot of people who pick us just because of this. That's awesome, right? Like serve your community, serve the people the way that you can, right? And only you can do that. When did this start? I'm in Florida. David, I don't know what you mean by when did this start. If you're asking about the live, we've been live for 38 minutes. I don't know what other question you could be asking. All right. First month I did Alex Galke. Sorry, I've definitely slaughtered that. First month I did 6.7 in revenue, but December has been really slow for me. Any advice on getting more leads during the slow time? I have Google Business Place and just set up LSA, but still waiting approval. Well, once you get LSA going, you'll definitely have more business. Guys, business is ebbs and flows, okay? What that means, if you're not familiar, it means it does this. Okay. And what happens is that as your business grows, right? Like if you're looking at it at a chart, your load times get higher and higher. So for example, last month was slow for us. Okay. We did $20,000 in revenue. What do you guys think we did in November of last year in revenue? We did 5,000. So what is that? 4 times? We grew 4 times from last year November to this year November. So time is the ultimate, like the ultimate. What is the word? You're not gonna be able to shortcut time. Okay, guys. It's gonna take a while. So don't get into your head about it. And I get it. Like, don't ride those highs. Actually, if Clayton Slaughter ever jumps on here, he probably won't. One of my old mentors from a sales job, he always used to tell me, don't ride the highs, right? You can sell $5,000 of junk removal in one day. It's amazing and it feels really good. But then you could go 7 days without selling a single dollar junk removal. The best thing to do is just be consistent on the actions that you do every single day. Posting on Facebook, Nextdoor, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, talking to other businesses, sending emails out, going to apartment complexes. Stay consistent in those activities, whether you're making money or you're not. And like I said, the ebbs and flows they'll get shorter, and the lows will get higher, and the highs will get higher. But don't ride the highs, because every time you have low time, it's gonna suck. So, all right. Do you think I should spend money on Facebook ads or set up a Google business page and run ads from there? I'm 17, and right now I run a 16 by 12 utility trailer and a 7 by 12 dump trailer. Very cool that you got 2 trailers at 17. That's pretty legit. I would say you probably would be better off running Facebook ads, but you could definitely you'd still need to set up your Google page because you need to be able to get reviews. And you can run Google LSA. It's just going to take a higher budget. Guys, if you're not sure where you should start on ads, you have to use a platform that is the easiest for you. We have a video on YouTube on the different lead sources and ranking them. But what I'll say is that Facebook can be a very cost-effective way to run ads, but you have to know how to set them up. But guys, we live in the internet age. Like, you can find videos on how to set the ads up. And if you guys are like on this live right now, you're at least proficient enough in technology to be able to figure that out. So I would say probably do both. Why not do both? All right. Is it a good idea to finance a dump truck to start with no experience at all? I'm in Atlanta. Great question, okay? Absolutely freaking not. Guys, just do me a favor, okay? If you take anything from this live, do not finance or put yourself in debt for equipment if you have no idea how to do junk removal. If you don't know how to get jobs consistently and you don't know how to sell, don't do it, okay? You don't have to do that. Go spend $1,000 on some beat up pickup truck that you can put $200 worth of junk in the bed and use that until you get through the learning curve. Then you can go buy a utility trailer, save up a couple $1,000s for a utility trailer, and grow into the equipment that you want, okay? Business is not about wants, it's about necessities. And we have to focus on those necessities first. And when you're getting into business, your necessity is to learn the skills of marketing and sales in regards to junk removal, how to market junk removal and how to sell junk removal. And until you figure those things out, you don't have a necessity for anything else. All the other things you can figure out on the fly. You can go rent a U-Haul, you can borrow a truck from a friend or a family member, or you can go pick up a cheap beater for $1,000 like we did. Also, don't tell me you can't, because you can. We've done it. Other people have done it. You can figure it out. So that's my take on that. All right. Steven, I thought your Google My Business got back, but if it hasn't got back, I would still focus on SEO. You can either teach yourself how to do it or you can have a company do it. Really up to you. It's back. So now that it is unsuspended, I can't freaking read. I would go Google LSA since your Google My Business is back. Do we offer services other than junk removal? That's another great question. We do not. And the reason is we don't know how to do any other services. In the beginning, we did offer moving, and shout out to Nick over at Brother Brothers and Elliot. We worked a job with a moving crew one time, and then they invited me out to do a moving job with them. And when I did the moving job with them, I realized very quickly that we do not know how to do moving at the highest level. And Jackie and I also hated doing the moving. It's a lot of work. So it's just like, hey, you know what? Let's just focus on the junk removal. It's very difficult to market and sell junk removal in the beginning. It feels like everything you do just doesn't work. That's a part of business, guys. So we don't offer other services. You absolutely can. Not discouraging you from it, but what I will say is that the more things that you put on your plate, the longer the learning curve is going to be on how to market junk removal and how to sell it. That's my take on it. Do we get leads from paper marketing like door hangers, flyers, yard signs? Yes, we do. We put that stuff out. We definitely put more of an effort now that we have 8K to do it, but I wouldn't say that it's not a high return. Yard signs could definitely be a high return, but I guess it's really just dependent on the area. So, all right, Get It Gone Junk Removal said, my wife and I started with a utility trailer. Then they got a 20-foot box truck, and now they just got a dump truck because they watched us. What a game changer. Yeah, dump truck is a game changer, guys. I'm not discouraging anyone from getting a dump truck. We love it, but I just think that you have to kind of grow into it. And some people are able to take the steps from like A to Z, but it's really dependent on your financial situation. Another thing that I didn't mention, I was like in severe debt on top of not having a lot of money. So it wasn't really an option for us, and it wasn't a smart option. So we did what we had to do to kind of get to where we're at. Okay, so what's the minimum you'd spend on Facebook ads for it to make sense and have a good ROI? So here's what I'll tell you guys. $10 a day is probably the bare minimum, but I would really say $20 a day. Here's the thing about Facebook ads. There's a 2-week learning curve for the system. So your ads are going to be kind of crappy for the first 2 weeks while the AI is learning it. You have to set the ad to run continuously, and that's for any ads that you guys run. Google ads, SEO, Facebook ads. You have to run them for long periods of time. 30 days is an okay amount of data, but like let's be like, if we do $10 a day, it's $300 for the month, okay? So the ad would have to be really, really bad for you not to land at least one job. And from there, most jobs that you're going to do are going to be between $200-300. So really, you only need 2 jobs to break even and make some money. Okay. So I would always set the ad up, do it to where you can afford to do it for a long period of time. 30 days is okay. 60 days is great. 90 days would be best. Total Junk Solutions, thanks for jumping on. You guys have a great rest of your night. Just started my junk removal business. I named it after my 1-year-old son. Awesome. Congrats to you. Hopefully that brings you business. Guys, don't be afraid to put photos of you and your family on your businesses, okay? Get in front of your trucks, your trailers, and kind of do it that way. What is that?
I'm doing something with my laptop still.
Oh, okay. All right. What type of carrier do you all have, and what is the price, if you don't mind me asking? Frank, have no idea what that question means, like what type of carrier and how much. I don't know what that means. What are you asking for? Insurance or what?
Hey, come here. Come here.
She wants to be in the live. Citywide hauling, what's going on? What's going on? Mainstream sellers, what's going on? How much is a dump truck, like a cheap one? We got our dump truck for a little over $20,000. I think most go between 20 and 30. I've seen people get them for cheaper. Just really depends on your area, how far you're willing to travel, what kind of dump truck you're looking for, all that kind of stuff. I'm not an expert in dump trucks. JF Hauling asks, insurance, they know the prices vary, but how much is the cost for the dump truck? Or what is the commercial insurance now?
It's the same, 610.
550, 570,
610.
610. So we pay $610 a month for the dump truck to be commercially insured, the deductibles are pretty high, like $2,500, right? 5,000. Yeah, they're up there. We can afford that, unfortunately, but we can't afford that if that happens. And then it also covers 8K as a driver, so take that with a grain of salt. You will pay more if you have lower deductibles, and depends on how much mileage you drive and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, I'm a Fed. That's crazy, crazy. I'm a Fed says I have a Silverado 1500. I want to use it to buy a cheap trailer to start. Seems easy to get started. I have my truck already. Do you recommend advertising to individuals or businesses? You're going to most likely need insurance if you're going to do it to businesses. So I would recommend starting with individuals. That's what I would do. Great question. I'm a Fed. He's a Fed. Much respect to both of you. Pray to God blesses you much more. Can't wait for the link you talked about. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Appreciate the love. God bless you as well. Luna, you're not the star of the show. Thank you. Thank you, mamas. All right. Who is the company that you went through to get your dump truck? Do you remember the lending company? Pacific Lending? Pacific Lending, I think we went with a guy named Connor. Pacific Lending I think is what it's called.
Pacific something.
Yeah, Pacific something. When you put out door hangers, what places? Houses, apartments, or both? Yep, houses and apartments, both. Do you have an area that you try to stay in? Stay in for what specifically? I don't understand the question. Luna got a bath and a new collar today, so she doesn't know how to act. Stop. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming if you got them. Otherwise, you're just going to watch me play with my horse. What? You're in the video. You're in. They see you. Local. Do you have an area that you try to stay in local? Yeah, I mean, guys, we try to stay within a 15-mile radius of us. Logistically, that just works the best. So that's what we do. Oh, great question. How long have we been in the industry for? We've been in the industry for 16 months. 16 months. It'll be 17 on the 22nd. So not very long, guys. A lot of people that are new to following us, whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're on, we have not been doing this a long time, okay? We've learned from some really great people in the industry that have been doing it a lot longer than us. We have I think an impressive track record, but yeah, I mean, some people have a much more impressive track record, and some people have a less. Business is all about the race that you run, right? So it's about what you do and what you want. And social media is really good at like making you think you want something until you kind of get to that point, and then you learn like, okay, this isn't as great as like it seemed it was going to be, right? So I know there's people that have been owner operated for a long time, and they love the way that works for them. I'll say that us getting an employee has been a blessing, and I don't know that I'll ever go back to the truck full time. So Mainstream Seller said, what is the radius at your base business you work? 15 miles is what we try to stay, but we'll do 20 or 30 if we have to. Eco Dump Dynamics asks, were you surprised how quickly you scaled your business, or was it very strategic and planned out? Were you surprised how fast we grew?
No.
Jackie wasn't surprised. I mean, we were strategic in a way that we had goals, right?
Yeah, I don't feel like we just blew up overnight. Like I feel
No.
like the first half year was really slow.
Yeah, slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 7 months was really tough for us guys. I know that um, it, everything seems like a flash, right? Like social media makes it seem like it was just kind of all of a sudden. But it felt like a long time for us. So, and we have strategic plans on how we're growing now, and we've always had goals. So, I don't know. I guess that kind of answers the question. All right. JTPHX said, "I'm not good with social media. I wouldn't know how to update a website if I had one, especially for scheduling jobs. Then I would hire someone that does. I would hire someone that does. Guys, business is about learning how to find people and build a team that helps you grow your vision and your goals. So keep that in mind as you're growing your business. Do we have any recommendations in insurance companies? We use Next for general liability. Texas Mutual is our workers' comp, and Progressive for commercial auto. So we're in California, Sacramento area. Are there any pitfalls that we should be aware of in starting this business? Biggest pitfalls, I would say, is going out and buying equipment before you know how to market and sell. Kind of touched on that. I've beaten that like a dead horse, but it's really like that is the piece of advice that I always want to give everyone, because it's just there's no there's just I don't know, there's just no point. Ugh. Right. David Upton says, I'm not sure a 15-mile radius would work from where I'm at. What website would help me figure it out? I would go onto Google Maps and look at like the areas that you live in. And so like from us, like Austin's like 8 miles north. So, and there's 2 million people that live in Austin. So that obviously is a good business hub for us. That's how you figure that out. Okay.
No, come here. Come on.
Wrestling the dog.
Lay down.
We use Progressive for commercial auto, guys.
Girl.
When y'all went from 5K a month to 20K months, was it gradual or did it happen fast? And what was the main factor? So, I'll answer this. So November of last year was like, we were between 5 and like 7K months all the way up to November. November we did 5K. Mm-hmm. December we did 5K. January we did 10 to 12, and then we grew 20% month after month. The biggest thing that changed for us is we got a business mentor. We learned how to run ads, and we learned how to sell junk removal. So it was gradual up to that point, and then we kind of exploded. So hopefully that makes sense. So in the beginning, for growing and scaling our business, the main things we focused on was just top line revenue, because I think when you're a new business owner, that's all you know to think about. Now things have changed a lot, but it was just top line revenue. We set goals for top line, and that's what we focused on. If you guys don't know what the difference is between top line revenue and bottom line, top line is just the gross revenue that comes into the business. So all the junk removal sales that you do for the month. Bottom line is the top line minus your expenses to get bottom line, which is your profit margin. Right. Going back to the other live. Let's see here. All right. I'm First Baby said, no matter what your journey has been, you guys have inspired many others to do that as well, and we appreciate that. So I appreciate you for saying that. That's awesome. That's our goal, is just to inspire people to take the leap if it's the leap that they want to take. Does that make sense? I think it would have been a lot easier for us to make the jump if there was someone that we had looked up to online that like kind of went through the journey. And a lot of people don't document their entire journey, so that we kind of set out to do that. Shout out to Alex Hermosi. He'll probably never see this, but he's the one that inspired me to do that. So do we have someone run our ads? We do have someone that runs our Google ads. If you guys want someone to set up your SEO and your Google ads, you guys can message us on Instagram or Facebook and say, I need someone for my ads. and we will connect you with our guy. We don't put his information out there just for privacy reasons, but if you guys are interested, we can help you with that. Garrett McDonald asked, do we do our own taxes or hire someone? Do we hire someone for our books? No, we do all our own bookkeeping and taxes. That I'm like 90% sure that will change after this year's taxes. Reason being is our revenue is basically 2.5 times what it was last year, or our first year, I should say. And so I just know that there are going to be things that we don't know how to navigate, and I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS. So that's coming. It is a big expense, so we have to be prepared for that. Will we consider doing franchises in the future? No, we will, as of right now. Jackie, do you have any wants to franchise?
No.
Boss said no. I don't want to do it. We would much prefer having privately owned standalone locations. So our goal is to bring people within the company and help them expand and open up other locations so that they're privately managed by us. If that makes sense. So, yeah. I have a box truck, 26 foot. Is it viable to start junk removal? Absolutely. Guys, start with what you got. 26-foot box truck is amazing. You can fill that thing up like crazy. So, does Texas require contractor's license due to dollar limits? No. You don't need a contractor's license. How do you get a business mentor? Well, you find someone that you like JT Junk Solutions, and you say, hey, do you offer mentorship? And they'll tell you yay or nay. There's a few different characters on here on social media. I'm just going to put them out there because I got no hate in the game. You guys got Heavy Load Hauling, Junk Teens, JT Junk Solutions, Hunter Patrick with Dumpire. Who else is doing mentorship stuff? Barry Hartman over at 505 Junk. Those are the people, if you're going to pick someone to do a mentorship with, those are the people I would choose. So there's that. Right. What kind of dump truck did we buy? We have a 2006 Isuzu NPR HD. It's a diesel with a 10-foot box. It was formerly a 1-800-GOT-JUNK truck. For extra income, do you guys separate metal from other junk plastics? Would that take too long? Yes, we do separate metal depending on load sizes. It does take a little bit. You have to have somewhere to store it. We don't do it for extra income per se. We do it to save on dump fees, which is extra money in your pocket, but we're not like, oh, we're going to go get $200 from this metal. Someone who gets a lot of that I've been seeing is Tony over at Texas Junkers. Like when they get like a 20 or 30 or 40 yard full of freaking metal, that's some good money. I think, what's the most amount of money we've gotten from metal? $100?
Yeah.
$100. And when you're doing $1,200 jobs, $1,500 jobs, $100 is like, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not a focus all the time, right? Walter Warren asked, if you're just starting out, do you recommend doing Google for advertising? Yeah, if you can afford it and you have someone that can do it, like set it up for you, then yes, absolutely. But it's going to be more costly in the beginning. So, yeah. M&A's asked if we can DM the ad guy. Guys, you have to DM us. I can't, we have thousands of unread DMs right now as is, and I've got the brain of a freaking squirrel, so there's just like no way for me to remember. But if you guys DM me with like something about ads, those will be at the top, and I'll be able to recommend you from there. Do you use any business credit cards or just use EIN number? I don't know what you mean by that question. You have to have an EIN to get business credit cards, but you have to have business credit and good personal credit to get business credit cards. We do not have a business credit card. We're trying to get one for our ad spend and all the other miscellaneous stuff, but we don't have one right now. So all of our expenses pretty much come straight out of our business bank account. So Eminez says, I love you guys. We love you too, buddy. Are we able to work something out with the city as subcontractors or not a good idea? It really just depends on your local city and state, guys. Have no idea. If you can get in with your local chamber of commerce, it's great. Get in with your local city, it's great. But typically you have to be insured and you have to have the whole nine. So just be prepared for that. How do I check my business credit cards? I wouldn't be able to tell you. That's not something that we specialize in. So you're probably not gonna be able to get a business credit card right off the bat, guys. That doesn't really happen. Oh, Dave was in the house. I don't know if he's still in the house, but I hope he is. 170 Junk says, just starting off and I'm having trouble getting leads without using Thumbtack. Okay, that's a good thing. So if you're getting leads, 170, I want this to be a back and forth. If you're getting leads from Thumbtack, why are you trying to go outside of that right now if you don't know how to get leads outside of Thumbtack? Just a question for you. It'll turn into a learning lesson if you answer back. I think the one thing that everybody struggles with, if Dave's still in here, he'll probably agree because we've talked about it. In business, it's really easy to chase the shiny objects, right? And if you already have a way of getting leads and it has a return on investment, then you need to continue doing that until you have enough revenue to figure out the next lead source. So that's my recommendation. Okay, I hired a marketing agency. Is that a good idea? It's a phenomenal idea, guys. If you have a marketing agency that has a proven track record, they're going to grow your business. The question becomes, can you afford to do that for a long period of time? A marketing agency is not going to be able to bring you leads right out the gate. Just not typically how it happens, okay? 170 Junk said the leads are too expensive and the leads are not 100% sure thing when a customer reaches out to you. Okay, great learning lesson for everybody in this chat. I don't care where you get your leads from. The leads will never be 100%, ever, okay? So something you have to get used to is spending money and not landing the leads. And that comes down to actual true lead cost. So when we're talking about the cost of acquiring a customer, right, or your CAC, your actual cost of acquiring a customer is how many leads you have to get before you land a customer, not how much you're paying per lead individually. So when you say that they're too expensive, 170, what does that mean? Because the higher converting leads are going to be even more expensive, just so you know. So the true reality is like, are you just uncomfortable with paying for it, or is the return on investment not there? If you spend $100 and you make $400 or $500 back, that's a great return. Even if you make $300 back, and yes, you're going to have to probably spend $200-300 before you make that return. That's part of business. You guys have to get used to that. It's also why it's important to get referrals and follow up with past customers using things like Jobber so that you get repeat customers every month. All right. Do you work with realtors who are needing to get houses cleaned up or apartments that need to have couch removal services, other things? Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, realtors are a pain in the butt to work with. If you're a realtor on here, I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. You guys actually typically are worse than people that are just looking for junk removal, like just residential clients. The reason being is that realtors, either they want to save their own money or they're just being the third party for their clients, and they don't know how to sell junk removal, so they just go collect a bunch of quotes, and whoever's the lowest bidder is going to be the one that goes out and does it. So we typically stay away from realtors because they just are not easy to work with. So, but caveat to that, there are a lot of other junk removal companies that are probably in this live right now that love using realtors and they get a lot of work with them. We just haven't had a great experience, so that's why we stay away from them. Right. What are some odd things to have that you might not think of besides maybe a dolly cart gloves? Baby?
Odd things.
Yeah.
It's not odd.
No, like, are there any other things outside of that?
Trash bags.
Trash bags,
Contractor bags.
contractor bags, hammers,
Um,
crowbar.
maybe like big bags to like fill with things.
Yeah, big movers bags to like slide things back and forth. Yeah, it's good. What was the best thing you did when you started off to do or use to get leads? We used Thumbtack a lot in the beginning. So you're doing what we did. I think that you just have to figure out how to close and sell people on Thumbtack. That's probably what you're struggling with. And it's, again, it's like a skin in the game kind of thing. Like, you're not going to, there's nothing that you can do that will negate learning how to sell. Okay. So for example, if you're struggling to close leads on Thumbtack and you think it's expensive, going over to Google and paying $70 to $100 per lead is going to sting that much more when you don't close them, and you will not close them. We close 30 to 40% on average for our leads, which is pretty high. But guys, we spend our marketing budget was $5,000 last month, and we got basically a 4 times return on investment on that. So there's that. Last month we didn't net anything. There was no net on that. Last month we had a tough month on expenses, but on average we're like anywhere between this month or this year we're on pace to doing 31%. We were 49% our first year, so we did 240,000. We netted 49%. It was like just shy of like $100,000. So, or no, just over $100,000, whatever it was. So good question though. Tips for making videos, guys. Making videos is pretty straightforward. Use an app like CapCut or Edits from Instagram. Put a bunch of clips together, 2 to 3 seconds long. Change, add some music to it. Put some text on the screen. Pretty straightforward. That's what I recommend. And Q, the CEO, when I say we didn't net anything on 20, like last month we had a break even month. So that's the truth of business, guys. That's the thing that people won't tell you, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. Best way to price out gigs. How do we price jobs? Guys, we have a video on YouTube on how to price jobs. I can't really explain it. We also did launch Junk Pricer Pro, which is an app on pricing jobs. So if you want to grab that, let us know. So, yeah. For most jobs, would you say it requires 2 people, or could you get away with 1? Right now, AK is working 90% of the time by himself. So, yes, you can get away with doing just 1 person. What do we think caused our break even? It was a slower month for us, first and foremost. We had an accident that caused an extra almost $4,000 in expenses. What else happened last month?
That was the biggest thing.
That was the biggest thing. Yeah.
It's just less leads and.
Yeah. Slower. So like basically we had a $4,000 expense and did $10,000 less in revenue. So that's what caused it. And that's expected for this season. Last year, November was our worst month by far. This year, November, again, worst month by far. How did we negate that? We have money in the bank. We also have other forms of income, guys, that are not the junk removal company. So we weren't stressing about it. We are not incorporated. No, we're still an LLC. We will move to be a corporation this coming tax season. Right, I'm in a rural area of southwest Nebraska. Basically, in a 60-mile radius of me, I have approximately 55,000 people, so I will have to travel. Will I be able to make a go of it, in your opinion? Great question. 55,000 people. 10% of that would be 550, right?
I think you should start by telling them that we only have 16,000
Yeah. So in our direct area, guys, we only have 60,000 people.
And I would say half of the jobs have came from.
Yeah, and half of our jobs come from the Kyle area. So first and foremost, yes, you can. Break down the math for you guys. Really super easy. 55,000 people. If you're at 10%, it would be 550. 1% would be 55 customers. So what you need to ask yourself is, do you think that it's reasonable over time that you could acquire 10% of the population in your local area? And I think it is, like, depending on how well you market and how long you stay in the game. And so if you have an average job size of, let's make it 100 for simple math, and you have 550 people that you acquired, $100 times 550, what is that, like 550,000? I think. And so on and so forth. So, if your average job size is $100, which it shouldn't be, it should be like at least 355,000, right? So if you sell $1,000 worth of junk removal to 550 people, now you've got $550,000 business, or $500,000 a year business. So you just have to think about it like that. You also have to think about all the other businesses that are in that area that you can service as well, which are higher tickets. You might have to focus on 10% is 5,500. Thank you. Now, it's 5,500. Yeah. What am I thinking? See, can't even math. It's 5,500 people. So 1% would be 550. So yes, very, very possible for you to do business in an area that big. Someone asked us about it, like an area 3,000. I think if you're sub 10,000 people, you might have a hard time, but it doesn't mean that you can't try. Thank you, Shy, for doing the good math for me. All right, who's your commercial auto insurance with? It's with Progressive. Great question. Right. Good evening, brother. You guys have been a huge inspiration to my business owner dreams. I'm getting started with renting out U-Hauls and get the ball rolling. It would take me over a year for a truck. So be it. You guys have a year, I promise you guys. What you can accomplish on a long period of time is far greater than what you can accomplish on a short period of time. So don't set yourself up for failure by trying to complete goals in a short period of time, okay? Awesome. Great time to get started. 23 years old, getting started. It's never too late to start, guys. Jackie was still a young doe, 21 when we started.
Yeah, I was 21.
But I was 26, 27,
You're
6.
26.
So, I'm old, as Jackie would say.
Very.
Very.
We don't own any pencils.
We don't own any pencils. We're a non-pencil house around these parts. All right, guys, hit us with some more questions. How much did we gross this year? Thanks for the live. I can check for you. I will tell you how much we've grossed so far this. Are you asking for the fiscal year or from our business start? That's a good question to ask, but I will look right now. Oh, I was about to say, I was looking at last fiscal year. It's like, ooh, that's rough to look at. This fiscal year to date. All right. So for this fiscal year to date, we've done $306,000 in revenue, just from junk removal alone. So, and slow season for us, yeah, kind of, not really. It's slower. We gotta get out of the mentality of like calling it slow season, because that it's a very negative connotation. But yes, like consumer patterns change in the winter season, guys. The reality is like right now, especially in December, everybody is spending money on presents and toys and gifts, right? They're not spending it on services, but there's also an equal amount of people that are trying to get their homes ready for Christmas and New Year's. And what we noticed from last year is like, so October was slower, November was the slowest. This is for us in our area, and then January picked up, February picked up, January, February, March, April, May was amazing. June, July, August was great. So last fiscal year was our first year. Yes. So we started our business July 22nd of 2024. We did $65,000 of revenue by December. And then from January to July, we did whatever the difference is of 240. So from 60 to 240. And so we're projected to do at least 600 from our year 2 mark to the end of year 2, if that makes sense, for the business being open. And that's because of the uptake of business in summer. So can you do both junk removal and snow removal? Yes, you can. I have no idea about snow removal, so please don't ask because we don't get snow in this part of Texas. Jimmy, good seeing you, brother. You need to hit me up. Can you do both self-contractor with decent sized company? Man, I'm struggling right now. Everybody, I mean, also the economy isn't in the most amazing spot either. So like people are just reluctant to spend money. But guys, this is the part of business where you really have to have a maturity over your financials, right? You have to put the necessities of the business before your necessities as people. How much are our bills are under $3,000 as personal bills? Jackie and I's personal bills are still under $3,000. So, like, if that gives you any perspective, and we have, on our good months, we are netting like between $12,000 and $15,000 a month. So we have plenty of money that we could be spending, but we don't, because the reality is the business comes first. And if you want to grow, it takes capital. So like when people try to ask us about why we still live in an apartment, that's exactly why. Because yes, could we go get a mortgage? But yes, we could, but it would serve us. It wouldn't serve us right now with our goals. Anything that we wish we would have done different when we first started off? Anything for you? Differently? No. I think our journey has been our journey for a reason, and I've enjoyed it. There are some things maybe not regretted. I don't think there's anything I really regret. Everything's been good. I think we've gone the path that we have. I think we did pretty good for.
Good for what we had.
Yeah, we did good for what we had and what we knew. So. Yes, we do save. We save and we invest. So we do save our money. We do invest our money. We do have a full-time staff now, and we do hire contractors from time to time. Right now, we have our first full-time guy on our truck, which is AK. You guys will be getting a little bit of an introduction to him here soon. We also have a full-time brand manager who is a 1099 contractor. He handles the YouTube content, helps us with brand deals, that kind of stuff. So that is like included in our expenses. So we say we haven't. Eminence, shoot me a DM. We'll be happy to mentor you. Yeah. So there's that. I'm gonna get back to this one. What are our dump fees? We on average spend 68 and some change for a full load of the dump truck. Sometimes it can be upwards of 100 or 120. I was looking at the profit and loss statements earlier. We spent $1,200 last month in dump fees. Did we hire an employee to handle the jobs? Yes. Jackie and I are fully off the truck now, so we did hire an employee for that. Do you have to be good with computers to get customers? Yes. I think that's being good with technology is probably a requirement nowadays. So, what do you guys do on slow days with a full-time person? So we've had, and so we've had AK for 2 weeks. We've had 2 days where he hasn't had work, right? And he's gone out to do door hangers, yard signs, and business to business, going to apartment complexes and getting property managers' emails for us so we can start that process, getting on with them. So that's what we do. We promised him at least 30 hours a week. He's also washed the truck. And yeah, we just focus on we have enough revenue and money that we can pay for him to do 30 hours a week, regardless if we make money or not. So that's the mentality we have. Again, it's all about taking care of our people first, and like we keep our bills low so that we can prioritize making sure that AK gets paid and the junk removal business grows. So, can you speak to your social media strategy? Do you post both on your personal page and business page? Is the content different? We do not post on our personal pages anymore for JT Junk Solutions. In the beginning, we shared the post between the three. Because we blew up on social media, Jackie and I's accounts are private, and we intend to keep it that way. When it comes to posting content, our strategy is going to be different than what y'all's strategy should be. You guys should be customer focused and talking about your processes and what makes you different and things about the junk removal industry that the average person would not know. We are focused on growing our mentorship business and coaching aspect and just our social media following in general, which means that we're targeting you guys with the content that we post. There's also a lot of transparency that comes with us posting our numbers. So do we have customers that don't, potential customers that don't like it? Yes. That weeds those people out, so we never really have to work with them. And the people that do work with us like the transparency because they know that there's likely their job is going to be posted in a video. And if we lie about that in any way, shape, or form, they would have the ability to call us out on that. So it's really just the ultimate form of transparency between us to you guys, but also us to our customers. So. Yes. Do we get leads via social media? Yes, we do. But it's better as a conversion tool. Okay. If you guys, social media is its own business in itself. It's a whole other game and it's really difficult. And I actually think social media is much more difficult than regular business. Would you agree? Jackie's shaking her head. Yes. So, what made us get off the truck is we were tired of being on the truck, right?
Yeah.
Not really so much Jackie. She doesn't mind it. She likes it. But I started getting to the point where I was dreading going to do jobs. And once you kind of get to that point, you have to move on to the next thing. But also becoming a business owner, like with Jackie and I now, when we close jobs, they've been higher ticket lately. And that's more of a testament of like, are we doing $18 an hour tasks or are we focusing on $100 an hour tasks? And like if Jackie and I can talk to 10 more apartment complexes today versus going out and doing jobs at those apartment complexes, it serves the business much more for us to be doing those higher leverage tasks. And eventually we're going to hire someone to do those for us as well. So it's all about buying back your time. If you guys haven't read the book Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, as a business owner, you absolutely should. So, right. How do you get content while having staff? Well, that's the new problem we're running into. We're going to shoot a YouTube video tomorrow, and we're going to try to get some content, but we haven't got a lot of content because AK's been the one on the truck. So these last 2 weeks, we haven't really gotten any. We went out on the truck on Saturday for a job, and we got a little, like 3 clips. I think you got a couple videos, right? But we didn't get a ton of content. So we charge $815 for a full truck for first-time customers. My local landfill charges $150 just for a pickup and charges $220 for a trailer, sometimes more. How can I work around that? Recycle, reuse, donate, resell. You're going to have to focus on doing those things for sure. And then just know that your dump fees are going to be $200 anytime you go. So, all right, guys, I'm going to take the last round of questions. Is dinner ready? dinner's ready. And yeah, I think we've gotten a lot of good questions in over the last hour and a half. Guys, you can hit us up in our DMs either on Instagram or Facebook. We have the free Discord group. You can grab the link from Instagram as well. We'd love to see you guys in there. If you guys haven't already, if you're still new and you're trying to get your first job, we have a WAP group for that. It's $30 a month. If you haven't gotten a CRM, use the referral code in our Instagram or Facebook bios. Get yourself a discount on that. And yeah, outside of that, I don't have anything else to sell you guys or tell you. Appreciate everyone being here. We're going to try to do more of these. We always say that we're going to, but it's a lot of work. But now that we're kind of freeing up time, we're going to try to do it. So yeah. Any last questions? 170 Junk? Absolutely. We got like 19 people on YouTube, so I'm going to give those guys some time. Instagram, there's only 7 people, so I'm going to sign out on that. See you guys later. All right. And YouTube, looks like you guys are done. There's 16 people in here, but it looks like you guys are done. So I'm going to end it there. Thanks for watching.